Hi everybody, and welcome back to my channel. As always, background ambiance is provided by my dog. She snores. We're going to do Chapter 25 of White Silk Lover today. Saturday, May 1st, 8 a.m. Tomas. You have so many people mad at you right now, I said. Sam and I faced each other in his room, one of the side rooms of the suite. The soaked and probably ruined tux sat in a garbage bag Coby had found. Somebody would send me a bill for that, but at least the suit didn't stink anymore. Grabbing a shirt out of his suitcase, Sam pulled the store tags off it, pulled it on, and started buttoning. Sam yelled, "This is another instance of Sterling can do whatever he wants, and Sam gets the blame." "You get all the credit for this one," I said. "Your drunken outburst went viral. Check YouTube. Check any entertainment website. Coby and I didn't know anything about it until Moms called to make sure I was all right. They didn't know it was you at first." "Moms? Called here?" Sam said. "They called last night and want you to call them back first thing this morning," I said. "Would you keep your voice down unless you want everybody to hear you?" "Maybe I do," Sam yelled. "When are you going to grow up and face facts?" "What do you mean?" In a high-pitched voice with a British accent, Sam tried to mimic me. "Coby is a music student. Coby writes songs. Coby lost weight. Coby can play the piano. We talk all night." Sam sneered. "He's nothing more than a homeless beggar that's playing make-believe. You saw where he lived. It's a hovel. You fly him around the country, take him to Platinum, bring him here. We even flew back to Vegas so you could see him. Once again, you show off how much money you have so you can get whatever you want. Or in this case, impress the little beggar boy." For a moment, I couldn't say anything. I contrasted vulnerable and broken Coby with my brother's arrogance. "What is your problem?" I said. "Is this about the Platinum? I invited you, but you wouldn't come." "Fine, I'll be blunt. What is Coby, your little puppy?" Sam yelled. "You are a multimillionaire megastar who plays on yachts. Coby doesn't even own a car. He's a joke pretending to be a musician." There was a slight noise behind me. Sam looked up and scowled. He folded another shirt and put it in his suitcase. "Admit it, I'm right." The door to the main room was open. In it stood Coby and our chef, holding plates of pancakes and eggs and hash browns and bacon. We came to see if you two wanted something to eat." "I guess not," Coby said. "Coby, that was nice of you. Come here," I said. "It's okay. We'll take these back to the counter. You can get them later." As the chef left, I walked over and grabbed the pancakes from my boyfriend. "Thanks, Coby. Do you have any maple syrup?" With a slight smile, he released the bottle from where his left arm pressed it against his body. "I'll wait for you by the kitchen." I'd lay odds Coby had heard everything and pretended he didn't. I'd seen him do this before. He was trying hard to ignore something that sliced his soul very deeply. Sam just made my blood burn. "Give me a second, Coby," I said, "and I'll come with you. I need some fresh air. Give me some syrup." Coby turned the bottle upside down with his right hand, drizzling syrup across the pancakes. "Is that enough?" "More. How's your hand?" I said, and stared at Sam. "Didn't you injure yourself last night when you were covering for Sam?" Coby poured more syrup on the stack. "You must be binging." And yes, I did. Jerry said to distract everybody so they could get you and Sam out, but you already knew that. "More syrup, please." Sam didn't. Folding up another shirt with tags on it, Sam placed it in the suitcase. "Careful, it's going to drip on the carpet," Coby said, and righted the bottle, ending the stream of syrup. "Are you sure you should have that much sugar?" "These aren't for me." I switched to Sterling's accent and smiled at Coby. "Sam, these are for you." "No thanks." Sam arranged his clothes in his case. Most of them had tags. "Pancakes don't change the fact that I'm right." Coby must have gotten angry, because he muttered, At least I didn't throw up on myself. Sam, I said, you are being rude. Obviously, you were too drunk to notice Coby's concert last night. Look it up. In a year, Coby will have a degree that people will respect, even when they forget about us. I'm already fading on the charts, which means we, you and me, will be out of a job. Coby can sail on his degree for the rest of his life. It won't fade. What'll you have to show for all the time you spent? Herpes? Coby cracked a smile. What's so funny? Sam stood up, facing Coby with fists clenched. This. I slammed the icky, sticky plate right in Sam's face. Falling back onto the bed, Sam hit his suitcase and sent it spinning to the floor. Brand new clothes flew in all directions. His laptop slithered across the bed. His electric razor shot into the air and back down, cracking open and spilling its dirty contents over everything. I don't know who was more surprised, Sam with all his swearing, or Coby with his jaw open. Perfect for an incoming kiss. Coby didn't mind. We would get an extra cleaning bill, and I would happily pay it. Coby, I said, carefully taking his injured arm, are there more pancakes? I'm in the mood for a binge. Sam, covered in pancakes and syrup, struggled to sit up. He swore and slammed his fists against the bed. The plate fell off Sam and was upside down on the bed, making a big syrup stain on the comforter. Don't you ever insult my boyfriend again, I said, using the Sterling accent. Come on, Coby. Saturday, May 1st, 9:30 a.m. Coby. All four of us, Albert, Joey, Tomas, and me, fit into the little examination room. I sat on the examination table, the paper covering the table crinkling under me. It had been a horrible night, not because I told Tomas, but my hand kept me awake. As Tomas held my good hand with both of his, Albert whispered something to Joey, and she whispered back. They knew all about me, and still stood by me. The door opened, and the doctor walked in. Indian, I guessed, not American Indian, but from India. Thin, wearing a lab coat and the obligatory stethoscope, he looked over a clipboard and ruffled through it. Hand injury, Mr. Coby? He looked up and smiled. Well, how about that? Sterling Lock and Coby Wood. Wait until my daughters hear about this. Doctor? Albert said. Don't worry. I won't tell anyone you're here. Not until after you leave. Joey stepped forward, arms crossed. How did you know who they were? Besides the fact Coby's name is on the paper, my daughters couldn't stop watching the videos about last night's affair. Mr. Locke, once your disguise was broken, I think everybody knows what you look like. I'm going to kill Sam, Albert said. The drunk? The doctor asked. Call me Tomas. Sterling's my stage persona. Tomas clapped me on the back. Coby's my boyfriend. The drunk's my brother. He had about a dozen too many and says he doesn't remember anything. Coby, you hurt your hand in the fall? The doctor said. I shook my head a little, playing the piano afterwards. The doctor took my hand, felt at different joints, then along my wrist and forearm. I have some ideas, but first I want a full panel of x-rays for both hands and both arms. Whatever he needs, Tomas said and kissed me on the forehead. I've got to get to rehearsal. The concert is tonight, and we have a lot to do. Call me. I'll send Albert for you. Maybe we can have a late lunch? Sure, I said. I'll stay with him, Joey said. It's either that or I'll break Sam's jaw. Tomas smiled as he opened the door. Stand in line. I'm first. Before you go, the doctor said, pulling his phone out. It was selfies with the doctors, his nurses, and whoever else was in the office. Back in the examination room, it was just Joey and me and the doctor. With Tomas gone, I was scared. No, I was terrified. I had grown to depend on Tomas. Joey folded her arms, her face losing all trace of humor. I'm sorry about this, Coby, but we both know what has to be done. The fear of last night burst in, and I couldn't look at her. I know. I've been too scared. Within a few minutes, Joey had outlined the basics of what had happened to me 3 years ago and told about my weight loss and diet and fitness program. The doctor took notes during it all, asking many questions. The old depression came back as I lived through the year after high school. Hearing Joey recite it didn't make it any easier to listen to. It made it harder. The doctor asked exactly what I had done, and I told. With each word, I didn't know whether to scream or cry or shut up. My voice kept getting softer until I barely spoke. He left to arrange x-rays, blood tests, urine tests, and a full physical. Joey stepped in front of me and lifted my chin, so I looked at her. "I really am sorry," she said, "and I won't tell anything you've said. You have my word." "We have to keep Tomas safe, don't we?" I said. "Did he order all this?" "No, he didn't." Joey sat on the exam bed beside me. "He won't even know unless you tell him. This is for your peace of mind. Nobody else's." "Why?" I said. "I can't afford any of this." Joey wrapped an arm around my shoulders. "We don't leave family behind." Saturday, May 1st, 10 a.m. Tomas. I fumed all the way to the arena hall. Coby was safe. Joey would see to that. Unfortunately, injuries and piano playing are not uncommon, but it's solvable. The issues caused by Sam might not be. Jerry and Les were beyond furious with Sam, and when they found out that both Coby and I had been recognized from last night's video, I don't know what they would do. Moms were angry as well. They had separated years ago, still were friends, and the video had brought them together. Both were annoyed. Joey was the smart one. As always, I should have stayed at the doctor's too, but the concert always came first. We pulled into the empty parking lot of the arena, and I jumped out. One of the crew, a quiet guy named Jay, opened the arena door for me. "I need to see Jerry and Les. Where are they?" I asked. "By the stage. There's a problem with the lights," Jay said. "Isn't there always?" I said. "Last time it was the sound system." Les stood by the stage. One of the light booms was down, and 2 technicians were working on it. We could rehearse around it, if I didn't move too far. "Les, guess what just happened?" I told him about the doctor visit. "Where's Jerry? He probably needs to know as well." Les pinched the bridge of his nose. "Jerry's gone home, at least for a week." "Now? What happened? We're at the end of the tour." "Coby is what happened." Les led me away from the stage and prying ears. "You have to know that Coby loves you a lot, and he was so paranoid about hurting your career. He told Jerry everything. Jerry told me." "How mad is Jerry?" I asked. "He's not. Jerry had another huge fight with his son a couple of days ago, and after talking to Coby, he left to patch things up." I sat in one of the chairs. Les took the one next to me. "Blame me," I said. I dragged it out of Coby. "How's Coby handling all this?" Les asked. "Terrified and hurting," I said. "I'm afraid his hand's pretty serious." "Lord help us. We'll blame Sam for that one. He's still not here," Les said. I leaned back and stared at the ceiling. Is this weekend even happening? "Are you having second thoughts about you and Coby?" "Nope," I said. "Sam. What do we do about him?" "First thing, no alcohol at any of our functions. Second, find him a babysitter." I snickered at that. While I stood back up, the boom raised. Its lights flickered on. Something was working at least. I left Les and still had no answers. Climbing on the stage, I chatted with Javier about some of the new music. A minute later, Sam strolled in. "You're late. Where have you been?" Les yelled, rose from his seat, and marched to the stage. Sam shrugged, picking up his drumsticks. "Business. Let's get started." "I'm sorry about the pancakes. It was uncalled for," I said. My brother didn't even look at me. Whatever. I hit you, you hit me with pancakes. I guess we're even. "Are you all right?" I asked. And that was the wrong question to ask. Do I sound all right? Sam yelled. Do you know what the internet is saying about me? The drunk drummer who attacked the celebrated Sterling Locke and his new boyfriend. Do you know how many pictures are out there of poor little Coby falling on his hand or holding his injured hand in his armpit? Some lab technician posted a picture on celebrity sightings of her and Coby having his hand x-rayed 15 minutes ago. Coby Wood, the wannabe musician who kissed Sterling Locke. Wow, he plays the piano, he sings, he's famous. Meanwhile, the entertainment networks called me a drunk monster who throws temper tantrums. Once again, you can do no wrong, and I'm the one to blame. Sam, you were almost passed out when we got you to the room, I said, and sometime last night you threw up all over yourself. Like you've never had one too many. This was getting us nowhere. What did moms have to say? They took your side, of course. Someday, everything is going to come crashing down around your head, and I'm going to laugh. The fall of the great Sterling Locke. I can't wait. Now, are we going to rehearse, or are you going to stand there until I throw up again? The rest of the rehearsal went okay. Sam did his part, but that's about it. I spoke with Maya about wardrobe, about some minor changes to the costumes, and I kept my dressing room locked. Just in case, I didn't store my music in there. A little before 1, Joey called for pickup. Time to escape for lunch. Sam, I'm heading out to pick up Coby from the doctor's and we're getting lunch. Do you want to come? I'm buying. No, I have a date with my toenail clippers. Don't be like that. It was just a bad night. Come on, let me buy you lunch to make up for the pancakes. Do you have to flaunt your millions with every breath? Sam yelled and slammed his drumsticks on one of his drums. I'm not coming with you, or your stupid homeless puppy. Mom, can I keep Coby? Mom, can Coby play on the yacht with me? Mom, can I call Coby tonight? Coby, Coby, Coby. I'm sick of it. You better leave, Javier said. I'll try talking to him. I raised my hands in surrender and backed away. A few minutes later, Albert and I left to pick up Joey and Coby. How can I make things better with Sam? My brother had grown distant lately and angry, and he kept to himself. Maybe he was jealous of all the time I spent talking to Coby. Or my money? Was he jealous of that? It was so tied up in contracts and investment crap I could barely access it. Sam did all right for himself. Not millions, but 6 figures at least. He had the girls and got to pretend he was Sterling. Maybe he needed more. All thoughts of Sam vanished when we pulled up to the doctor's office. Joey hugged a very pale Coby. Thank you for joining me today with Chapter 25. Have a great day. Peace.